When this man that terrorized his village returned, everybody could tell that something has changed. Now, mind you, he was a very bad man that displayed different powers he had. Fought openly with people, but this time around he came with something that people could not understand, but everybody knew that something was not right, and they knew that their misery was only going to increase in the village. When this man left, he went in search for powers that are not common in his area, and he acquired those, mastered how to use them, and he returned. When he returned, he stopped fighting in those festivals where they compete with power. He stopped showcasing his powers in public. But at the same time, something very strange started happening in the village. Now, some persons might say, why is this strange? Because in Africa, we have wild animals. You have the lions, the tigers, the cheetahs, everything. And we hear the stories of how people get attacked by animals on their way to the farm, on their way from the farm, or you hear these stories. So some persons might want to say, isn't this normal? Just sit and listen to the story and you will find out why this is not normal. At the same time, when this man all of a sudden magically appeared from nowhere after living for a very long time to acquire more powers because he wanted to be the strongest in the village. When he returned, people were expecting him to take part in those festivals and conquer the other people and be the leader. But what he did was retreat, stopped his open attacks. But then this strange act started happening. Every time someone offends this man, remember, it does not take anything for you to offend this man. Every time he doesn't get what he wants, you will not see him for some hours, and all of a sudden, a lion out of nowhere in broad daylight walks into the village and starts eating people, devouring people. And that will last for hours. They would try to fight, but something was very strange with this lion. It did not look like the regular lions that we have in motherland, that we have in Africa. This particular lion did not fit when you say the family of the cat. It didn't look like a lion, it didn't look like a cheetah, a tiger, a leopard, name it. It just looked strange. And whatever they did to try to fight it, the warriors will come out with their knives, their spears, bows, and arrows. There was no way for them to kill this particular lion. And this lion will go on rampage for some hours and then retreat back into the dense, thick African forest. Not too long after that, the man will somehow appear back in the community. Now, at the beginning, people were wondering what is going on. But not too long, people started noticing the consistency of every time this particular lion attacks the village. One person that is not out there to fight, to defend, or even if the person is not coming out to fight or defend, just sit in your home. Or this particular man was one person that was never there. So this kept happening. Several people were devoured. And over the years, as this man continued on this path, his voice started changing. All of a sudden, someone that talks like a human, sounds like a human, can no longer talk like a human and no longer sounds like a human. He started sounding animalistic. He started sounding like the lion. When he's talking, you hear like a roaring sound coming out from his voice. That was when people knew that he was the lion that was attacking the community. But even at that point where people knew, there was no way to stop him. Those other people that acquired powers tried their best to fight and bring him down and gain that because he was now feared. Everything he wanted, he got. People consulted him, seek his permission before anything is done in the community. If he says no, it ends there, no argument. Now that they knew who he was, nobody wanted to provoke him because it got to the point where you didn't need to provoke him. When he's just thirsty of blood, the lion shows up and starts devouring people. So this continued. And what we heard was when he got very old, he passed down this power to his next generation. Those that wanted to take it took from where he stopped. But as generations kept going, people started embracing Christianity. People want to, serve God, want to do other things. Then you have people that really don't believe in anything, spirituality, paranormal, ghost hunting, witches, wizards, extraterrestrial. They don't believe in anything. They're just there. So over the years, his family slowly stopped performing those dark magic and wanted to just be normal people in the community. But one thing that never left their generation up until this moment we speak is even after they decided, remember, when this new set of generations that did not want to associate with what their grandfather, their great grandfather, great 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 grandfather was into, they decided they were going to bring everything out from his home and burn them. And something else that they wanted to do was to go, and these new generations decided they wanted to do things differently. They brought out all those things that he used, his magical stuffs, and they destroyed them. His home, they brought it down and they rebuilt. They did everything to distance themselves from the generation that behaved badly, but the stigma stuck with them. Everybody knew that these were the descendants of the lion man, the man that used to change himself into a lion. But it got to a point where it was now a hush hush, where people whispered about it when these people were passing. But one thing that these people tried their best to get rid of, but they could not get rid of, was every child that was born into that family never could speak like a normal person would. Each and every one of them, the men, the women in the family, all had this lion roaring when they're talking to you. Like, "Roar, roar, roar." So even people, skeptics, people that didn't believe the story, when you meet these people, you hear them, the first thing that comes to your mind is why these people sound the way they sound. From mothers to fathers to brothers to sisters to aunties to uncles, everybody in that family sounds like a lion. And that's what made a lot of people that did not believe what the forefathers of those people did was able to stop back and think about it. What happened? If you say you don't believe, how do you explain why these people's voice sounds like a lion? But trust me, it didn't stop there. Many more people after this man acquired the power to change himself from human into an animal. More people went and acquired that power. So for several years, people were able to change into different animals to terrorize people, to commit evil, to kill people. But one thing that stuck with everybody was the fact that this man was one of the first people that went and acquired these very strange dark powers. And for years, he devoured thousands upon thousands of his community people, and there was nothing they could do about it because he was just too strong, and his powers, they did not know where it was coming from. Thank you. Till I see you on the next one.